Hello, good evening. Welcome to my channel, my super unprofessional channel. My name is Jenny, and I just skimmed through some Reddits and saved them because of the title caught my eye and thought, why not read them with you guys? So let's see. By the way, my name is Grouchy Cherry 6432 on Reddit. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. I know there's only one day left, but Okay, my eyes are watering. My boyfriend and I have been together for a little under 3 years. This weekend, I went on a trip to see him as we are long distance. I opened up his laptop and he had his chats open. Despite my better judgment, I started looking through them and my heart jumped. He's been having a month-long emotional affair with an older woman. I'm absolutely crushed. After he got out of the shower, I confronted him and he tried to lie, but I insisted and he eventually let me go through his phone. I found sex tapes with two other people. We had a long talk about it and ended up breaking it off. He reached out again and we got back together. He's explained that he is polygamous and didn't know how to tell me. He wants to try again fresh, but via a polygamous relationship. He's my first boyfriend and I love him a lot. Is anyone else in here polygamous? How did it work out for you? TLDR. He's just wanting to put a rubber stamp on the cheating. Yeah. Next time you break up with someone, block them so they don't worm their way back into your life. That's right. And then someone said, poly person here with 3+ partners. What you're describing is unethical non monogamy, which doesn't consent for him to connect with others. Quit taking it that far. It's not that deep. He cheated. He wants a way to keep cheating. Therefore, he came up with the polygamous stuff. Okay? It's not hard to read. Quit validating that stuff. Okay? Just keep. You don't know the whole situation. Okay, let's see. Some of these I've read and they're crazy. Okay, am I the a-hole for disrespecting boundaries because my nieces and nephews call me mom? Throw away because my brother and dad have read it. I, 25 female, have a brother, 36 male, and a sister-in-law, 37 female, with 4 kids, 8, 5, 3, and 1.5. I'm super involved in their lives. I babysit regularly, help with pickup, school stuff, sick days, family grocery shopping, and basically function as their go-to extra set of hands. That must be nice. The kids all call me Auntie or Lily, a nickname that stuck when the oldest couldn't pronounce my name as a baby. Lately, though, the younger two have started calling me Mama or Mama Lily sometimes. I always gently correct them, something like, I'm Lily, sweetie, not Mama, every single time. I try to redirect them, but I also don't scold them or make it a huge deal because they're babies. I do take care of them a lot. When I told my brother and sister-in-law about it, they both said not to stress. They're fine with it if they know I'm not trying to take anyone's place and they understand that little kids sometimes blur lines with caregivers. So I just kept gently correcting them and moved on. I have asked my sister-in-law multiple times about it, and she has always said something along the lines of, I'm happy they can have 2 moms, or if anyone else deserves to be called mom too, it's you. I still redirect, but not always depending on the situation. Pause for a minute, because my boys, when they started school, they would call their teachers mom. It's just like a habit. It means they're probably around their mom a lot. And she's also taking care of them. So, like, they're just kids. They're not doing it they don't see her as a mom. It's just she's doing motherly things. Then came the family barbecue. Oh, everything goes down at family barbecues. So, am I right? You know what I mean? The 3-year-old ran up to me with a big hug and said, Mama, I want juice. I did what I always do and smiled and said, I'm Auntie Lily. Remember, Mom's over there. Totally casual, but my mom overheard and instantly flipped her lid. Oh, great. And I mean full meltdown in front of everyone, yelling that I was confusing the children, crossing lines, trying to play mommy, and disrespecting the real parents. She said I should have nipped this in the bud and accused me of trying to insert myself into a role that wasn't mine. I calmly told her we're fine with it and that I gently correct the kids almost every time, but she wasn't hearing it. But But what is frustrating is my brother stood there and said absolutely nothing. Of course he did. No defense, no, hey mom, chill, nothing. Eventually, I walked away with a 3-year-old who was now very much upset because she felt like she did something wrong. My mom is justifying her behavior by telling extended family that she always could tell I'm trying to replace the mother and calling me disrespectful and that I've always had too much of a hand in their family. I don't think so. I love those kids and I do correct most of them and I do correct most of the time. I'm just not going to scream at a toddler over a slip up. Also, I don't love what she's trying to imply because he's my brother. So, AITA for not shutting down my nephews and niece for calling me mama, even though the parents said not to worry. No, ma'am, you are not. I took care of my nieces and it was the most beautiful, amazing thing. I loved doing it. I loved living with them. I loved taking care of my nieces. It's just, as an aunt, you love your nieces and nephew like they're your own. I wouldn't trade that time with my nieces for anything else in the world. So I understand the love you have for them. I also understand them calling you mom because they're little. She's 3. It happens, okay? It's going to happen when they go to school. And in my opinion, it just shows that they spend time with their mom. So it sounds like your mom has an issue, not y'all. She's the only one with the issue. I just say, okay, move on. Okay. Would I be the a-hole for refusing to pay $55 for a yacht party the day before? What? I was like, a yacht party. I, 28 male, have a friend, 28 male, I went to school with who is throwing a birthday party on a yacht. He invited me a few weeks ago. I was pumped and decided to invite my partner, 28 female, as a plus one. Tonight, the night before the party, the host sends me a text texting me asking me to pay $55 each for me and my partner to attend. He specified that this $55 each would go towards food, the boat fee, the photographer, and a DJ. Excuse me. Mind you, on the invitation it said food would be provided. Am I the a-hole if I don't attend this party, or if I only pay for myself and not my plus one, even though we would both attend? I think it is in poor taste to request money from all of the guests the evening before when there was no mention of this in the weeks since the invite has gone out. I generally believe people should either be upfront about expectations from guests or just have the party they can afford. AITA, no. No, you're not. Not the a-hole. Can you mark that on here? Because I don't think so. So, yeah, I don't think he would be the a-hole because you don't have to pay. They didn't tell you in the invite. They said food would be provided, and then all of a sudden they're saying you had to pay for food. No. You either need to figure that out or, tell your guest when you invite them that, hey, I'm inviting you, but you have to pay. Like our rule as a family, if we invite you to the movies, we're going to pay for your ticket. Like if we invite our kid's friend to the movies, we're not going to expect them to have money. So I get it. I can't believe she even had to ask this question. AITA for choosing to go to my grandfather's funeral over my unborn daughter's 20-week-old ultrasound. No, I'm just going to say no. My wife, oh, he's a male. Oh, now I see why he has to ask the question. Okay, but no, still no. My wife, female 25, and I, male 26, are expecting a baby girl due in November. We are both so excited for it. I've been talking to her through my wife's belly, being excited, feeling kicks, all the fun stuff. And 3 weeks ago, we scheduled the 20-week ultrasound. It will be closer to 22 weeks. The last week and a half, my grandfather's health had been slowly diminishing. I had a talk with my father and family, and we were told that sometime within a week of his passing, we would have to have the funeral. This made my wife and I have to talk about the plan. I was asked to be a pallbearer at the funeral, and she said she'd want to stay home with the dogs so we didn't have to board them and that I could go by myself to the 4.5 hour trip up north to my father's hometown. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away late last night, early this morning. I called my father to make sure he was okay, which he was holding on as much as one would when your father passes away. but I was told the funeral would be held at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. This just so happens to be the exact same day my wife has the ultrasound.